Hey everybody, it is Sunday afternoon, June 23rd. Couple of things I want to run by you or tell you that you might want to go check out. I thought it was interesting. It was a short little video that popped up on Telegram yesterday from this future forecasting group that does remote viewing. And it was a little excerpt from a longer video, but they were talking about doing a remote viewing on some stuff that Cliff High had talked about, like something coming up in July. And I don't watch Cliff High. I know who he is. He gets discussed a lot by Janine, Tarot by Janine and Jean-Claude on Beyond Mystic. So I don't follow him, but you know what? He seems to be in the movement of trying to figure the truth out. You know, aren't we all? That's just what we're all trying to do, is figure out the fucking truth. So anyway, when I watched that little video, it kind of, it made me think I do remote viewing. I just do the past. I don't do the future part because, and that might be one of the reasons why all of these future forecasts that come out from different people, from Phil, from Brad Barton, from anybody that might follow these future forecasting groups, maybe that's one of the reasons none of this stuff comes true, is because it's energy that is changeable. And that's also one of the reasons why I don't do tarot stuff for future much at all, or very short term, like within a week or two, because far out it can change. So anyway, when as I was thinking, I'm like going, I wonder if I could do a remote viewing. And so I just wanted to see what it said on YouTube, and Elizabeth April popped up again in my world. I used to watch her back in the beginning of COVID, and she was definitely not a fan of Trump, so I quit watching her, and I think she was basically, there was some stuff that I didn't necessarily agree with that I got uncomfortable hearing, but she popped up into my view again yesterday. I am getting to a point here. And she recently did a kind of a deep dive on Biden and a deep dive on Trump. And I was like, oh, well, this ought to be interesting, because she uses remote viewing herself and some help from some galactic friends, I'll just say. And if anything, what she has to say can always be very interesting, and part of the stuff you put in the pot to determine what might be happening. So anyway, and I want to point you to those videos to go watch for yourself. They were not super long. They weren't like an hour or anything. I think they were 15 or 20 minutes worth a watch, because when she did Biden, the first thing that she said, now again, she has remote viewed, and then she has went to her galactic people and verified some of this information. So take what resonates and leave the rest. What she got was that Biden was a clone. I think we all might agree on that. And that this was like the third one, but they had 3 more clones of his left. And that they're very, very expensive to make. And the cabal was doing their best to stretch the one out that is in place. And that's one of the reasons for the glitches and all the different stuff that had been happening with him lately, that some of us have caught on the news, or not, or ignored, or whatever. And that what she was getting was that a new and a fresh clone was going to be coming out in like August or September with some extra pep in his step. And that's the one that's going to go into the election. So I guess the cabal must be thinking that everybody's going to forget that all this bullshit that we've been watching for the last year or two with Biden, and the stumbles and the mistakes and the stuff that's coming out of his mouth wrong, and that we will forget, or people will forget in August and September, all about that, and then move forward to the new and improved one. Oh, he's all better. There's probably some story. I'm guessing, she didn't say this, but I'm guessing there'll be some story that comes out about oh, he's all better now, he was on the wrong medication, blah, 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 whatever bullshit story they're going to come out with. And a new one will come out in August or September. And I thought that was interesting. I was like, again, I am open to all kinds of stuff. I get my information from weird stuff, from real stuff, from truthers, from quantum healing sessions. I pull it from all different directions and put it in a big old pot and then try to figure out, what makes me comfortable. So then she did one, like a deep dive for Trump. And I think what she did was she asked what Trump's soul mission was. And again, she doesn't like Trump. She has her own opinion of him. Although I will say what came out of this deep dive on his soul mission totally made sense to me. And I think she was having a hard time swallowing it because of her dislike for him. But what came out was basically him being, her words here, a buffoon was done intentionally, and that something about if he was too perfect or something like that, it would freak people out. But whatever the case is, his soul mission and contract is to bring change and chaos. I know the word chaos was there, which he definitely has when he, kind of stood up to the cabal and said, I'm taking you down. And then all of the chaos started happening because, it's like he set an alarm and woke up a bunch of people in the dead of night where they were happily going along and thinking everything was all fine and dandy with the world. And he was like, no, there's billions of dollars going to this, that, and the other, which we all know what it is by now. The trafficking and, the wars and just all of the stuff that we have learned over the last 4 years that a lot of us did not know about until he brought it to the forefront. So yes, he is a change and chaos maker. What she did get was, I think she was asking some questions from the galactic people, her galactic person, about the election. And that was not determined at this point. But what happened was, it depends on, basically what came out was the change is going to happen one way or the other, whether Biden is in it or whether Trump is in line for the election in November. If Trump gets in, things will be a little bit smoother, but there's still going to be change because there's no way in hell he's going to be able to snap his fingers and everything go back the way it was fast. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. So I hope you guys are not thinking that if he gets back in November, life is going to go back to normal, kind of like we were all thinking, well, when COVID is over, life is going to go back to normal. That's not what's going on with the earth right now. She did say that if the people choose to get Biden in there again, and she said she uses that word choose lightly. I do believe she thinks there was some fraudulent activity. But again, whatever came out on this deep dive of Trump, you could tell she was having a hard time swallowing it because it didn't resonate with what she thought. But she was honest. I felt like she was pretty honest, and she didn't not tell us what she got, even though she didn't agree with it. But if Biden got into the election in November, there was still going to be change that was coming because that is kind of on track for the earth right now. And it would be more painful than it would be with Trump, but there's still change coming. Because I would say the earth is going through the middle of a dark night of the soul. And I have heard that in several places, and I believe that to be true. And this, I want to throw in at the last here because this has also kind of been on my mind with like the rapture and everything. And I feel like, a lot of people are expecting the Jasara and Nisara to like fix things instantly. And there's a lot of people out there that's waiting on the rapture. and that, you know, they're just going to be relieved of everything here on earth and everything's going to be all peachy. I don't think that's what's going to happen, and I'll tell you why. I have never, even when I was a so-called Bible thumper, I was never thinking that I would be around when the rapture happened. So that's not a belief that I stood on and put a lot of faith in, but apparently there's a lot of people right now that are having rapture dreams. And I looked some of them up the other day. So they are coming in fast and furious. I don't know what that means, but I feel like I am probably one of the ones that will be leaving behind or staying behind, not left behind. I won't be left behind. I will be choosing to stay behind to help put the pieces back together. That's just a feeling I've had for a long time. I think maybe because I have been through a lot of rough shit over my life, that there is, why in the hell would I have gone through all of the stuff that I have gone through just so in a snap of a finger I can be whipped up to another place and not put what I have learned to good use. So I know a lot of people think, oh my God, you're out of your mind if you want to stay behind. But I think that's the contract I signed. I could be wrong. You know, I'm willing to be proven wrong. But I also think that if the earth is going through change and a dark night of the soul in order to get to a better place, all of the people checking out early and just leaving, that's not going to accomplish anything for anybody. That doesn't accomplish anything except for those people. And that still leaves the earth at a vulnerable place. So I'm wondering who's volunteering to stay behind to help put the pieces back together. So, yeah, I just have been thinking about that rapture stuff lately, and I'm like going, that doesn't resonate with me. And those are people that have, you know, what was your purpose of coming down here if you're just going to take off in the middle of things and leave everything in a mess? I don't know. I could be wrong. And a lot of people think I'm probably crazy for thinking that, but you know, you wouldn't be the first person that thinks I'm crazy, because I have a lot of weird ideas and I've learned a lot over the last few years. And I feel, based on that last video I did, and I got a lot of new subscribers, there might be more people open to some of the stuff that I have learned over the last few years about getting through this next phase of the dark night of the soul and the next phase in what's going to happen to Earth and all of that stuff. So anyway, have a good Sunday. I wish you well, and I will talk to you later. Bye.